it's one of them things where, like, I do remember, and actually it's kind of funny that you kind of bring this up because, that we're talking about this, because it's like there's a lot of things that I've really dropped. I mean, me and my wife, we've been married now for a little bit over 10 years, and like that name thing, I remember when I got married, because of my upbringing and because of my you know what? It's because of church. It's because of church. Just because of society in general, it made me believe, I had about maybe, 20 different bullet points of what I thought marriage and togetherness was going to be like. And, I could probably talk to him to say, like, if I were going to talk to him about, the name thing, that it's not as important as you think it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really not. And the challenge is this, is that it's not like you got married when you were 18 or 19 before you established your life. Am I right?
Correct, right.
So you built, like, this whole life, and it's just not as important as it was back in the day. I actually do believe, now, and not just because my wife and I used to have these arguments to fight, because we had that same issue.
That's him. It ain't bothering me. A woman whose name is hyphenated, means that she's not sure about her marriage. Boy, go have a seat. Boy, bye.
Wait a minute, who said that?
That's what he said.
I've never heard that.
That statistics show. I don't know who they got their numbers from. Anyway, whatever.
That's so funny. Well, I wish you the best.
I wish you the best.
It's Joanna Hale McGill. The hyphen. Well, I mean, I know you have a
Joanna. It's just Joanna Hale McGill. That's it.
Joanna Hale McGill. Gotcha.
That's it.
So in other words, is that the way? A good example of this would be the Clark sisters. Like
Karen Clark Sheard.
Right. She got married. Apparently, her husband's last name is Sheard.
Right.
Apparently, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong, but like the Clark, she was part of the Clark sisters, and so it's like,
right.
She better not drop that, name, because then we won't know who she is to a degree.
Oh no, that don't matter. Those people are already established.
Okay,
I mean, Tasha Page, to him, that's what he said. Tasha Page Lockhart, prime example. She won, what was that, Sunday Best. And she was introduced as Tasha Page Lockhart. Her mother is introduced as Lisa Page Brooks. Come on, get it together. Like, stop.
Well, you know
me
what?
Out.
That's a wonderful argument to have, because that shows that he does love you in the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can, it's coming from a place at his heart where, he wants that unity, that union.
Like Beyonce said, tell him, boy, bye. Tell him, boy, bye. I ain't thinking about you.
You're so silly.
That's what I meant.
So silly.
That's what I meant.
So, anyway, if we were going to talk about this whole amazing story of how you got to this particular position, where would you want to start in this particular story? Because you can start anywhere, because we can always kind of bounce around.
I mean, you can start pretty much at the beginning, raised in the church, grew up in the church, singing with the church choir, the youth choir, several local groups throughout the city of New Orleans and throughout the city of Picayune, choir director at an early age, praise and worship leader currently at my current ministry. You can start it anywhere.
Where's that ministry at? Where's
His Will Worship Center in Slidell, Louisiana. I am currently the praise and worship leader at that church. In my mind, I was always a background singer. I remember I was singing background for this young lady at one point during the rehearsal. She said, ma'am, you singing louder than me. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm trying to carry these notes. She said, you're not a background singer. I was like, yes, I am. She said, no, you're not. You're not a background singer. I was like, all right. And she kept stopping me throughout the rehearsal. She was like, I need you to stop. You're out singing me. I was like, well, I'm sorry. You know, so at that time, it was just like, to me, I was just a background singer. You know, I knew I was more, but it was just that fear that was on the inside of me that I didn't want to go forth. So they were having, I think it was revival at my church. No, it was a pastoral anniversary at my church, the kickoff of the anniversary one Thursday night. And the guest choir was late. Our church operates in order. They're going to start on time whether you're there or not. So the pastor came up to me and was like, you know, they're not here. We need to start. I need you to sing. I said, who you need to sing? He said, I need you to sing. I said, I'm good. He said, you up in a few minutes. So I'm standing there looking like, man, this man tripping. I ain't singing. I'm staying over here. When he called my name, I ain't going to move. I am not going up there and singing in front of those people. So I told my sister, she was there. She was like, you got to do it. I'm like, man, I ain't going up there. She was like, you go. I'm like, I am not going. You tripping. So needless to say, I went. No, before that, he told me, he saw me standing there, and he came with me. He said, either you're going to sink or you're going to swim. When you going to get out the boat? I'm like, man, listening to you, that being stubborn, hard-headed. I went up there. I sang, you know. I was scared. I forgot the song I even sang. My sister had to mouth the words to me. I knew the words to the song, but I was just so terrified. Now, mind you, I have been singing all my life, on stage, at festivals, everything. But that was just the place the devil had me operating in fear, not wanting me to go forth in what God had for me. So from that day, you know, he kept pushing me. Then he told me, okay, we need you to do praise and worship at the church on Sunday. I'm like, man, this dude tripping. What he stop?
Well, look, wait, now I do have a question about this particular instance, and it's probably not important to the story at all, but typically how these things happen is now you're up there, your sister is mouthing you the words, you're
right.
singing the song, the person who's supposed to be leading the song walks in the church. Did that happen at all?
No, they didn't come in. They came in about 10 minutes after I stopped. By that time, the pastors got up, you know, said a few words, you know, and then they came in and they did like the meditational hymn to their pastor, as opposed to them just doing praise and worship. They just did the one meditational song and brought their pastor up. So it worked out good.
So it worked. It not only did it work out, but you didn't have to have that diva confrontation.
Yes, Jesus, thank you. Yes. yeah. So, you know, after that, he would, you know, on Sundays, you know, we need you to do praise and worship. Then I would go to their house with me and my sister and rehearse with the pastor's wife and her daughter, praise and worship. And I would just sit there and rehearse like I was just dumb. Like I didn't know nothing about singing. I just went right on with it, rehearsing, you know, pretending like I didn't know the notes. I'm like, man, I am not about to lead these people. I am not doing it. No. So finally they were just like, look, we need you to just do it. So at that point I was like, you know what, it's time to go ahead and swim. You can't go wrong. You done did it this long. It had been like 6 months. I'm like, you done did it now. Go ahead and finish it and do it right. You know, so I had done the whole American Idol. I think I did American Idol twice. I'd done The Voice.
Wait a minute. When you say you've done those, you actually applied?
I actually auditioned. I auditioned for those twice. I auditioned for The Voice, I think once or twice. I don't remember. I know I did Sunday Best like 3 times. You know, and each time they'll critique you and tell me, oh, I'm getting there. Each time they'll critique me and say, you know, what you can do better. So it was just this one Sunday after church. And the mother of the church, she said, God told me to tell you one more competition. I said, he didn't tell you that. She said, the Lord told me to tell you one more competition. I said, ma'am, I'm not doing, I'm competitioned out. I'm not doing it anymore. She said, this next one is going to be the one. I was like, okay, whatever you say. So, it was one of those old years little faith.
Now, Joanna, before you go into what happened at that one, which was quite historical, you said that you did American Idol twice. You did, what was the other one that you did twice?
The Voice. I did The Voice. I did The Voice. I did Sunday Best 3 times.
Sunday Best 3 times, American Idol twice, and The Voice once.
I think I did The Voice once. So it's like a 3-2-1.
Right, yeah, right. So now, because I have a question about while you're, this particular part. So while you're doing these competitions, I know what I see on TV is, obviously they take the best and the worst and they make a nice little, they make some decisions with what they're going to show in order to make it entertaining for the viewer. Going through the experience like you, when you, as you were going through it, that had to be something that also challenged your faith or at least challenged your view of humanity, like some of the people you were in line with, some of the people that you interacted with, the people who were judging you, and the way that they treated you. Was there anything that kind of like rose to the top in terms of experiences that you can remember?
No, some of the people were like local choir directors, local musicians. Like you just go through like some of the, I don't want to say that some of the people that just, some of the average people pretty much is how I would put that first round.
Right.
Then after you go through like the first round of average people, then some people, one particular, I think with the Sunday Best audition, it was like a couple of radio announcers or something. It was just average people. And then you'd go to another round of people that were like with the actual show itself. And then you go through like the producers. And then that's when you see the big people. So it was several rounds of it. And I'd never do it again because it's too much. It's too much. Too much fluff. Too much fluff.
Which
not
one?
Real.
Which one was
not
too much fluff?
All of them.
Oh, really?
All of them. It's not real. I mean, it's for TV, so you have to give the people entertainment. You got to give them entertainment.
So I mean,
you have to get the rating.
So now, when you as a person going through the competition or all of the competitions, you weren't concerned about the ratings of television. Did they try to make you be concerned about it, like telling you to do something different than you would do?
No, I wouldn't. No, they didn't do anything like that. They might ask you, like sing a different song or something like that. So they'll make you do like a variety of songs to try to get a feel for you as a person and to see how you would fit with the show. If that makes sense.
Well, what's the fluff part then? Well, give me an example of the fluff that's similar to all three.
It was just, it's foolishness. Like you would have, you could, let's say you had 6 contestants.
Let's say you had what?
6. Say you had 6 contestants.
Okay.
Out of the 6 contestants, all 6 of them can sing, but you only pick one of the 6 to go to the next round. But all 6 were killing it. Why not?
You're saying why not keep the people?
Why not keep the people?
All of them are good. So they're not really looking for talent. They're really,
it's not based off of talent at all. It's not. It's all based off of ratings. We need the ratings. We need the ratings.
So in other words, if one singer created, or in their perception, the producer's perception, that they'd be able to get more ratings from one person over another, that's the person that they would choose?
Correct. Or you'd have those 6 people, you know, and 2 of them just did horrible. The other 4 could sing, but you'd pick the 2 horrible people just for the ratings.
Oh, I got you.
So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say fluff. I don't really know the right word for it. That's foolishness. But, you know, some of those auditions were, you can't say rigged. I mean, it just, I don't know the right word for it. I don't. I didn't like it because I know there were people there that sang with me that deserved to go forward, and they didn't. And there was some of them would give feedback, some of them wouldn't give feedback. You can ask for feedback, they'll just say thank you for your time. Well, tell the person what they're doing so they can improve if they want to come back again. So
I mean, now, would you say, would this sound like a true statement, you know, based on your experience, that there's a lot of undiscovered, talented people out?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. That's definitely a true statement.
But when they flock to these shows, you know, to those when they flock to those reality shows for the sake of discovery, what about the types of people? Do you feel that they were, you know, from you as a gospel person or a person that, you know, does music for the Lord, did you find similar motivation from the people that were, you know, going for Sunday's Best?
No, some of them, and some people, they just want to get discovered. Some people actually, you know, do it for ministry. But other people, they just want whatever it takes to get my few minutes of fame. That's what I want, and I'm going to get it.
Well, I mean, how are you able to detect that?
You just have to have the spirit of discernment.
Well, no, I got you. So, no, I mean, you got discernment, but I mean, is that, in other words, while you were interacting with a person, you were able to tell that in your discernment?
When you talk to people and they tell you, you know, one young lady, you know, when I did the American Idol, oh my God, I was in my early 20s. I was just like, I just want to sing. I just want to be famous. But at a point, you know, I was like, okay, I'm not of the world. American Idol, they don't produce gospel music. They produce worldly music. Some of the music is good, some of it isn't, but that's not me. I'm not in that arena. And I myself wasn't doing it, you know, for fame, and I'm still not, you know. It's a ministry. I mean, one young lady, she did American Idol like 4 times, made it to the top, didn't go through. You know, she did another show a couple of times. She did Sunday Best a couple of times. She did a reality show a couple of times. You know, she did another competition a couple of times. And it's like she's just chasing. Whatever she can get, she just wants to get it. That part I don't understand. I don't get it. Don't get it.
So now
you have
go ahead. Continue.
I mean, you have the gift, and it's nothing's ever going to happen on our time. It's all on God's time. So you can have a plan, but you want to make God laugh. You tell him your plan, and watch he unplanned. So while you out here running yourself ragged, trying to do this, and this, God already has it. Your divine time when he has this thing for you that he has. You just gotta wait. till you hear from him again.
So like, now, in terms of, you know, I just kind of asked you about some of the maybe unsavory parts, because that's always kind of been in the back of my mind, and I couldn't really watch those shows. I never really got into them, and I've heard a lot, you know. And when you listen to the radio in the morning, you always hear an update, and obviously there's, you know, news clips about them. So you end up finding out, you know, the winners and stuff like that. So I see the utility in it. Like, it's very interesting. And so I've always wondered about the things that you answer. So I appreciate you answering that. What about some of the good points? What were some of the things that were actually good and beneficial about, you know, those reality TV shows that were those competitions?
I mean, I'll go backwards for a minute. At one point, I just completely stopped watching Sunday Best. I stopped because you could see the change. It was almost like it was a show for the ratings.
Wait a minute. So now I feel bad because I will have to look up and watch Sunday's Best to watch all the episodes to really know what you're talking about. But maybe you can summarize. What do you mean by you saw the change?
There was one particular winner announcement where the winner clearly should have went another way, but it went another way, and the look on the person's face that did not win said a lot. To me, it said that, yeah, I knew I should have won, but because this is who they wanted to win, she won. Her face.
Wait, you saying that's what the face said? Like
that's what the person who did not win, phenomenal songstress, phenomenal, but her face told a story when they announced the winner. Her face said a lot. That nonverbal communication told a story. I kid you not. Her face told a story. And from that moment on, I stopped watching it. Because hands down, she should have won. Now, the other person, excellent. But she had nothing on this other person. Nothing.
Now,
nothing.
I mean, it's kind of funny because, I mean, it sounds like, and Sunday's Best, putting it in a different category. Hold on, let me let the car go past. Hold on. Dude is, he got one of them mufflers that's like extra loud, and he just gotta hit it. You know what I'm saying? Because the girlfriend in the car, whatever.
Well, you can cut and pay. You can cut some stuff out when you edit. But that year,
No, I can't. No, but what I'm doing is, like, while you're talking, I'm hitting the mute button so that all of my outside noise don't get in there.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
But,
so, yes, I'm working it. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
That year when it was Jessica Reedy and Iyanla Crawley. Iyanla Crawley's family was already in the music industry. So her family was already known. Jessica Reedy did not have that benefit. She didn't have it. Hands down, Jessica Reedy should have won that year. Jessica Reedy has put out.
Rigged. You're saying it was rigged because of kind of like a namesake.
Yes. I don't know if you can find that. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube.
It's
when they announced the winner. They announced the winner. And if you watch that girl's face when they announced the winner, she already knew. She didn't win. She knew it. It wasn't a surprise. But it's not right. If you're doing it based off of talent, which is not based off of talent, clearly. It's not.
So then what is a person like that, what do they do with the rest of their life? They've been put on sort of a quasi-national platform. Now she loses the competition. And
she lost the competition, but she has come, she didn't let that stop her at all. The girl, she came out with an album, and then after that first freshman album, she created her own music label to put her own music out. So now she has her own label, and she produced a sophomore album that she has out that's killing the charts. What have you heard from Iyanla Crawley? One album. One.
So basically, and I hate to say it as a point regarding the chasing for fame from the certain regular outlets that everybody tries to chase after versus the make your own way by being independent. Based on what you just articulated, it sounds like the way to go was being independent. But it also sounds
independent, yes.
But it also sounds like sometimes you need that smack against whatever you're doing. You need that resistance because let's say she had won. Would the results be the same as the current, that particular winner that you are referring to?
That's a good question.
And I'm just really, I'm really just I'm thinking about that because as you're talking about it, everybody's results are going to be different. But I know that I've seen in the media, just you see different news articles and opinion pieces about different American Idol winners and kind of their success rate. You know what I'm saying?
There is none. There is no success rate. Fantasia, Jennifer Hudson is about the most successful ones. Ruben Studdard, he's coming back around the game. But other than that, no. Crystal Aiken, the first winner for Sunday Best, she did maybe one or two albums. Haven't heard from her again. I mean, it's like the competitions are for the moment, and then after it's over, you might get that one signing or that one deal or whatever, but that's it. That's it. Some of these people, they have no musical knowledge at all. They just know I can sing. That's it. I can sing. I just know I can sing.
Right.
You can sing. Can you write? Can you write? Because you sign into this label, now you're signing over everything. You could write a song, but that label's still going to own your music. So you're not really benefiting off of it. The music industry is a tricky game. And it's almost like now, gospel, the music industry as a whole is perverted. You know what I mean? But
no, go ahead. What do you mean?
That's another subject.
No, I know. We don't have to stay in it. We don't have to stay in that topic for a long time. But when you say it's perverted, that is not a small statement. And I wonder,
it's not.
Just based on what you've experienced,
people's gifts are being perverted, and they don't even know it. They're getting screwed on both ends, but they're so caught, and some of them are so caught up in the moment, you don't even really see what's being done to you. You don't see it. Just be honest. Tony Braxton, for example. Tony Braxton can sing, but Tony ain't writing none of her own music. So all that music you've done and all the songs and the concerts and everything, what you got? What do you have to show for it? Not saying money is everything, but that was your career.
Well, now, I mean, from a person that is doing it for the Lord, or because they feel God wants them to share their music with a wider group of people than just their local church or in the shower, which, that person going into the music business related to gospel or related to, being in faith, is there some sort of, do you see that part of it being perverted too? Because when you said the perverted part, I know you were referring to the whole music industry, but is it also related to the gospel music industry specifically, based on what you see?
I haven't really tapped into that realm of it yet, but I know on some levels it does exist.
So, like, what do you expect? So, what do you expect, like, for you as a plant? And I know we're kind of jumping around a little bit, but I'm kind of intrigued by at least this part of it. Even though it
is gospel music, the industry, it's still a business, and it's going to operate as a business. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They're going to operate it as a business. So I prefer to be independent because I don't treat God as a business at all. I only move when He says move. So if someone calls me for an engagement, if God tells me no, don't go, it's the reason He's telling me no, don't go. I will not go. But if I'm just operating in flesh, or because they're paying X, Y, Z, then I'm going to go. Then when you get there, the outcome is not going to be what you thought it should have been.
No, I hear what you're saying. I hear you. I hear you.
This. Some people they try to, take advantage of people's gifts and, come sing at my church and da 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 da. You want me to come sing at your church in California? Okay, at that point now I got to come out of pocket with some money. So you can front the plane ticket, the hotel stay. Oh no, we just want you to come be a blessing. I'm sorry, what? Now you're trying to pervert my gift.
Well, it's funny because
he didn't say be stupid.
In that scenario, if there was, like, I've been in that situation before where I've had to travel and either come out of pocket to get there in order to do what needs to be done, and I've been in a scenario where they paid. And in both situations, I think it was kind of like both situations, it felt to me I could feel God's involvement in both of them. Because if I have to make it there, but see, at the same time, I hear what you're saying. I don't know if a church, I don't know if just because a church is poor, and I hate to say it like that, that's being too candid.
They're not financially stable.
Right, they're not financially able to do everything required to bring your specific, to pay the plane ticket. Then yes, maybe they shouldn't make the request. But if they've got faith, see, and that's the thing. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I'm not viewing it in a way that would lend itself to solving a situation like that. Like, for instance, if and again, I'm not really saying that this is the way every situation should be done. But if I know I'm going to be in the area, if I'm going to go to California for, a couple of weeks, okay,
I'll reach out. Yes.
Is that what you're referring to? Because when you say doing it independent, it's almost like that's what you've got to do, because you're talking about selling CDs, you're talking about honorariums, you're talking about really letting people, giving them a price of how much it would cost to do everything, and if the church is financially well off enough to be able to do that, they'd be able to pay those expenses. Is that kind of what you're referring to?
Kind of. You can't make these ridiculous requests to the church around the corner and charge these people $500 to come sing praise and worship. You're just out of order. You're out of order.
Wait, have you heard that? Have you heard that as a scenario?
Oh my God! Come on. What?
Look, this is probably my favorite area to discuss. If there was any topic that what you just referred to is the local Christian, the local minister going to share their talent or ministry gift with a church that may be down the street, down somewhere in the same region or across the country, and their little price list. That is fascinating to me. I'm always fascinated when I talk about that stuff.
Now, when the churches, when they invite you to engagements, they'll ask you, do you have an honorarium? I don't give price. God has not led me in a place where I need to give a price. Just be a blessing. That's
okay. Let me ask you, and let me ask you this: does that just mean? And I'm going to say this: I'm not doubting God, but I'm asking you: is it just your esteem is not at a place where you feel comfortable and confident in what God gave you, to where charging someone $500, $600 for you to do whatever it is they want you to do, that's there. When you go into TJ Maxx or Jewel or Walmart says before you walk out with that popsicle or that bag of grapes or that shirt, they're confident in the quality of that product. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering and I'm not putting God aside. I'm just wondering, where does that fit in?
You have to be I'm more than confident in it, but you also have to use wisdom as well. Because if you know your local church is a small ministry and it's not a mega church, they don't have hundreds of members, you're going to talk about, $200. Okay, we'll get back to you. You out of order. I mean, what?
Know who your audience is. Know your client.
You need to. You definitely need to. I mean, you have some artists out here. Their rider is $20,000. I'm sorry, what? 20 who?
Well,
ma'am, I know you good and all, but something better break when you come in. The atmosphere better shift. The guards better change. What? No, sir. You're raping the people. You're raping the church. Stop it. God is not pleased with that.
No, I see. It's funny because, I don't know if I know that I agree with you, but that's the logic behind it. The logic behind what to put on a contract, what to put on a rider, the price and stuff like that. It's like the philosophy behind it, it's one thing to say, let's pray about it and see what God has to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to do that. But also it's another thing to, feel that God has said, okay, this is your business, Joanna, your business, or the lady from Sunday's Best that you were referring to. I want your music to be shared with the world. So what I want you to do is I want you to charge bam, boom, boom for this and boom, bam, boom for this. You know what I'm saying? And go, let's say, just the same way that God talked to Noah and said, hey, Noah, I need for everything to be specifically this amount, this size, down to the cubic inch, cubic meter, whatever, cubic feet. Can God be that specific in order to make sure that your stuff, that your ministry grows? Because obviously, business people, to a degree, run the country. And
that's where good management comes into play.
Oh,
that's what you need. That's where you need you a good manager. Yes, let's pray about it and hear from God and see what God has to say. And I also believe, too, that that's where, later on down the line for myself, that's where a good business manager comes into play in that particular situation.
So now, did you ever watch the reality show with Mary?
I did.
You did?
I did.
So there was a white guy who.
Yeah, Mitch.
His name was Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So was he playing the role of business manager for Mary? Is that what his job was?
Yes, he was their manager. He got them shows and.
So now he didn't strike me, and I could be wrong. He didn't strike me as a Christian guy. He struck me more as a regular guy,
just a business guy.
So he was part of maybe a larger company, and he was assigned to do for them the role of business manager. Am I looking at it correctly based on what I saw?
I believe that's correct. Yes.
So, was he doing a good job for Mary based on what you saw?
Well, from what they saw, no.
No,
we only got to see a snippet of
stuff.
No.
I know. I think because I wasn't. I never watched the whole thing, but the reality, let's go behind the scenes, just intuitive. I'm talking about like what you saw. What you see in Mary in terms of like, if you Google them,
he was all right. He was all right. He was all right. He wasn't, he wasn't top notch. You know what I'm saying? He was all right.
Well, I mean,
and I guess they felt that him being I wasn't enough, so he got fired.
Yeah, and that's the thing. In terms of that, I look at that as more for the television viewing audience. You know what I'm saying?
Like, but no, I don't think he's. I think he's no longer with the company. I think he's really fired. That wasn't just for TV.
Right.
Mitch is gone.
Yeah, you just saying he might have retired, but they just made it look like this. They made good television with the whole situation. Is that what you're saying? That's what
they made good television. Yeah, but
I
really think that they really saw that he wasn't a good fit for the team.
Right, and what I'm wondering is and this is, I guess what I'm trying to say is that outside of the actual event that you saw on the screen, the role that Mitch played and how he did it, was that a good model for a manager of a Christian singing group, Christian artist, gospel music singer? Was Mitch a good model for that? And you know what I'm saying? Like, how many? We don't know many. We don't know many. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know many other managers who play that role. So, was he a good model for it? Like, don't think of the show when you're answering this question. Like, don't think of the show like, the things that the silly stuff that they put into the reality show to make it be like, this is why he was fired, because he wasn't the best. Like, whatever. The role that he played, is that a good role, and is that what a person should look for in a manager of their gospel career, gospel artist, gospel music career?
I vaguely remember Mitch, but from what I can remember, no. No, Mitch, no, he didn't cut it.
Well, what did he do wrong? Because I would argue only saw a few episodes with my wife, and
I said he was all right. He was all right. Some shows he could have gotten them. He didn't get. Some places they should have been. They weren't because he didn't do his job. You know, this is Mary. They have a name that they built for themselves.
Oh,
Mary can get anywhere, but it's all on management to get them where they need to be. I'm the artist. I shouldn't be booking my own shows, too, if I'm paying a manager to do my job, do their job. No, you do it.
See? Okay. Now, look, here's what you just did. Here's Joanna. This is what you just did in this conversation as I'm talking to you. You just made the argument for the other side of why you should have a business manager or a manager that's doing all your bookings and stuff like that is concerned about business more so than ministry. Because, you know, ministry, you're not looking at the bottom line.
You can book it. You can book it all day.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I, as the artist, have to decide if I'm going, period. So you can tell me, look, this is what I got booked for you. Give me the information about that place, da-da-da. No, I'm not going. I can't do that. Nope. We all right. Nope. Tell them I ain't coming. No.
So Kenny, go ahead. What was you going to say?
I will pull rank in a minute. No. Not going. No.
So let's go back.
You can get them to book what to book what you need them to book. But
right.
At the end of the day, you're the artist. You're the one that has to go and minister, not them. You're not about to book me to go minister in no freaking night club. Talking about we going to minister to the. Boy, go sit down. No.
Wait a minute. You're not telling me that that's what Mitch did with Mary. You're not.
No.
You're just saying in general.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying in general. The venue, the events that you want people to minister at, like, no. I'm not going to go minister at a bar mitzvah. Like, what? You got me an engagement at a who? Clearly you don't know me.
Oh, Lord. So wait. So let's go back to, you know, that final time you were on Sunday's Fest, right? How did that one go?
I drove to, I think it was in Memphis. Was it in Memphis? I drove somewhere. And no.
Wait, stay with me. Make sure.
I think I drove to Memphis, Tennessee for that event.
Wait, hold on. Can you still hear me?
Uh-huh.
Can you see? All right,
I can.
I want to make sure that this recording actually hits. So I'm going to call. So stay by the phone. I'm just going to call you right back because I just want to make sure that that we don't get to 2 hours. We don't get to like over an hour of talking and none of it got captured. I'll be so upset. So I'm gonna call you right back. I just want to check the recording real quick. Okay.
All right.